Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. This is your host, Terrell Cool Beans Davis, along with my co host, Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing this Saturday night, middle of November, a couple weeks away from Thanksgiving,
Uh huh.
not too far away from Christmas.
Uh
This
huh.
year's went by fast.
Oh, it had.
But, hey, Beans, have you noticed something different about me?
Oh, yeah, but I was going to do the shout out, and I'm going to tell you something very special.
Go ahead and do the shout out to our listeners.
While we at it, let's go ahead and do a shout out to our listeners that for be listening to the audio podcast. Those are like San Jose, California, Brussels, Belgium, Grinzek Weiland, Germany, Ashburn, Virginia, and Boardman, Oregon. And while I got these cities we doing the shout outs, let's do a shout out to my co-host, Mr. James Miller. Happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank you. That's not what I was talking about.
I
This
was
is what I was talking about. You see this hat? You see this
oh
hat?
Colorado.
Go Buffs. Go Buffs. But thank you for the birthday wish and everything.
I was like, oh, he don't know I know it's his birthday. I'm just
No,
gonna be
yeah, I didn't.
quiet the whole time.
So turned 43 today. Thank you for the birthday wish.
No problem.
But yeah, we'll get started in this episode. If you want, we'll go ahead and just jump in with the hockey, and then we'll go to NBA and then so forth.
Yeah, I didn't get in touch with Mark Wanzel about whether he was gonna get on tonight.
Well,
I
we'll try
should
to.
have I should have just sent him the link anyway, just in case he did read the link. Be like, oh, let me get on now. But I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Well, we'll go over some hockey scores. I'll go over some from last night. They got some games going on right now. Um, we got right here. Yes, last night you had the Penguins and the Blue Jackets playing. Blue Jackets beat the Penguins 6-2. The Capitals beat the Avalanche in Colorado 5-2. The Flames beat the Predators 2-0. The Golden Knights beat the Utah Hockey Club 4-2. And Utah, y'all need to get a name. Y'all need to get a name. This hockey club is just like that was just like the Washington football team a few years ago. Come on now, get a name. And then the Red Wings got beat by the Ducks 6-4 last night. And then the games that's going on right now. Um, let's see here. Right now, getting ready. They're starting the third. They're in Toronto. The Maple Leafs are getting beat by the Oilers 2-1 right now. It's the end of the second period. The Canadians are playing at home, and the Blue Jackets they're beating them. They're beating the Blue Jackets 2-1. Lightning over the Devils at the end of the second period, 1-0. The Panthers are beating the Jets. 16 minutes left in the third. Panthers all over the Jets, actually 5-0. The Flyers are beating the Sabres 4-0. They're in the third with 18 minutes left. The Penguins are playing in Pittsburgh. They're beating the Sharks 3-1 in the third with 14 minutes left. Then you got the Hurricanes over the Senators 2-0. Starting the third period now. You got the Stars beating the Wild 1-0. It's in the second with they just started the second, so there's still a lot of hockey left there. Start of the second in Los Angeles. The Kings are beating the Red Wings 2-0. And then you got one other game that ain't start yet. The Blackhawks are playing the Canucks. They'll tee the puck off or however you call it at 10 o'clock. And the games that have finished today, there's been two games. You had the Blues beating the Bruins in Boston 3-2, and the Islanders got beat by the Kraken 3-2. And it is said Kraken. I looked it up to make sure I was pronouncing it right.
Right.
So
Hey,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you notice something? I was like, only because I was paying attention. I noticed that if I didn't know we was talking about hockey, let's just say, if I said the Jets beat the Panthers 3-0, what would you think I was talking about?
It could have been football.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. And then the standings here, we'll run over the standings. This hockey season's early, which it'll go by fast. We realized that with the baseball season. There in the Eastern Conference, you got the Panthers, the Florida Panthers, leading that the Atlantic. Um, They're 17-11-5. Right behind them is the Toronto Maple Leafs at 18-10-6. Going down to the Metropolitan, you got the Jersey Devils, the New Jersey Devils. They're 20-12. Behind them is the Washington Capitals at 16-11. Going to the Western Conference, you've got I didn't know there's this many hockey teams. I didn't really. You got the Winnipeg Jets, 17-15-2, and behind them is Minnesota Wild. How does Minnesota get in the West Conference?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I guess
Midwest.
I guess. But I'm used to football, Minnesota Vikings and the basketball, Minnesota
Yeah.
Timberwolves. They're all in the Eastern. So, but they're about in second at 16-11-2. And then in the Pacific, you got the Golden Knights are 17-11. Now look at this. These Golden Knights just came on board, 3 or 4 years ago?
I guess. Yeah.
They're an expansion team, and they are leading. And I think did they play in the Stanley Cup and win it not too long ago or lost? One of the two. But they came close to winning it if they did not win it. And here they are, expansion team, and they're leading the Pacific 17-11-4. Los Angeles Kings are 18-9-6. So that's a couple of standings going through. It's going to change because of a long season.
Yeah.
With hockey.
Because their playoff season is right around the same time as basketball season.
Yeah, well, the NBA, which the NBA's already started their season, the NBA and the NHL run about identical.
Yep.
So, if I was a pro athlete, football's the way to go. It's a shorter season as far as playing. Because if you look at baseball, they play 162 games.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball plays 82 games. And then hockey, I don't know how many games they play. 80-some.
It's probably about 80-something.
So, and it may be more because they're 17-11-2. And so, I mean, they've already played a bunch of games already.
That's true.
So, I don't know how many they play. Wanzel, if we can get him on here, he's the guy. And just like I'm seeing here in the headline news there in hockey, there's injuries, just like football and basketball. The Blackhawks put Jones on the IR with an injured right foot, and Kane's mule surgery for Anderson puts Jarvis on IR. So there's all kinds of injuries as well going on
right
in hockey. But I mean, you could see it. I mean, you can see why it's a rougher sport now than football. Football is getting too soft. It's getting softer than what it used to be. But you can see why those injuries occur in hockey. Is there anything in hockey else you want to mention before we move on?
No, but
I do want to mention something before we move on to the NBA. Last night, there was a fight. And if you didn't know, if anybody in this country didn't know there was a fight going on, you were dead. I guess you were dead. Everybody knew about this fight. It's because from its old school, Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul, which I didn't get to watch it. I was at work. I tried to bring it up, and it's a good thing. I heard everybody complaining, trying to bring it up on Netflix. It was buffering.
It sure was.
You ready for this? 120 million people tried to tune in through Netflix.
Wow.
120 million people. So they wasn't thinking this through when they done this.
No, they did not.
They did not think this through at all. I don't think they thought it was going to bring in the audience that it did. But look who he was talking about, Mike Tyson, one of the, I ain't gonna say he's the best, but one of the best boxers that there was, especially during his time. So, and I didn't get to see none of it. I ain't seen none of the highlights. I heard it was pretty rough to watch.
It was like the best fight. That whole thing
was the women's, is what I heard.
No, I was gonna say Ramos and whoever. What's his name? But it began with a B.
I heard. I heard that one and the women's was the two best.
Right, the women's would have been good, but they say she got cheated. Amanda, and her name is Sir something Reno or something like that, and she fought Katie Taylor. And I did see the one thing they was talking about. It's like she headbutt her.
Well, here's the thing. I was waiting for you to bring that up. And just like Boomer mentioned at work this morning, what people don't realize, you got a southpaw going versus a right-handed. All right. It's how you're leading. You're leading, and both of you are leading. That's why it looked like she was headbutting, they said. Because when you got a
Mm,
southpaw and you got a right, you both are going to lean, going the same way. So that's the reason why that they said, I didn't get to see it. I'm just going by what I was told. Where you
right.
got the southpaw and the right, and which that would make sense.
Okay, I can see that makes sense. But here's the thing. Here I don't know. Was Holyfield? I don't know if Holyfield was a southpaw or not. Because I remember when Holy. This was the whole reason why Tyson bit him. Because Tyson was like, he's headbutting me, and the ref wouldn't do anything about it. So Tyson bit his ear.
So, I can't remember if I don't know. I don't think he was southpaw. I think he was. I could be wrong. I thought he was right, but I didn't get to watch none of it. But I know everybody was complaining about the buffering and everything. And
Oh yeah.
here's my thing with streaming was we stream everything here. We've pretty much done away with cable, because cable's got too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming's not ready for the inload of people to come in what they've got. For
Yeah.
instance, like here in West Virginia, when you're streaming the West Virginia football game, it buffers all the time. It's all the time locking up. I'll have to back out and come back in. So when you start getting a bunch of people uploading on that,
Mm-hmm.
they've got. I know eventually they'll fix that, but then your price is probably going to go up
Right.
with that. But as far as streaming, everybody's trying to go to streaming because it's cheaper to save money.
Right. But
But
see, here's the thing with streaming. Streaming is not going to be a good thing for live events. You know, like you're talking about the West Virginia game, that fight last night. But let's say I wanted to watch a movie. Let's say I was wanting to watch We both wanted to watch Deadpool and Wolverine. You might get on at 6 o'clock and watch it. I might get on at 9 o'clock and watch it.
yeah,
It's not going to interfere because we're all
no,
getting on at different times.
that's it.
But the live
But
event,
the live
everybody's
stuff,
on there.
yeah, everybody's on there. When you got live events, live sports, and stuff like that, everybody's getting on there. And I'd say last night was probably the most they've ever had to go on at one time for any event streaming wise.
Yep.
So I think if you look at all these other revenue, I mean these other places like you got Peacock, you've got Prime, you got all of them. I think they all take notice of this with the Netflix thing and say, hey, we need to fix this so we don't have this issue with us if we have an event like that and we have that many viewers come in.
You know what? I gotta put that on Netflix, not knowing what they're doing. And the reason why I say that, because remember, Amazon Prime has them Thursday night football games, and I've watched a couple of them football games on Amazon Prime. I've never had that buffering problem. I
But
had that buffering problem last night on what you call it. You get in the match, it gets good, and all of a sudden the circle going around, and they just still like this.
but the NFL don't have 120 million people tuning in.
This
The
is true.
NFL never have that. They're lucky to have. I don't know what they got now because their
If they
numbers
have
have.
12 million, they
They're
call it a
lucky.
good night.
I'd say he probably got half of that. So the numbers have dropped to the NFL tremendously, and since they're changing all these rule calls, they're losing more audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, people are getting tired of seeing the and everything else. But yeah, I wanted to mention that fight last night, and everything. But I was hoping Tyson would knock Jake Paul out.
I was too. But
But
when I started seeing it got around round 5, I say, nope, Tyson lost this one.
well, I was told by one of our bosses, Boomer. He said that when Tyson was walking to the ring, his leg buckled and gave.
Oh,
And when he seen that, he said I knew this wasn't going to be good. But he said Tyson had a knee brace on. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get to see the fight, so maybe he had a weak knee, maybe something along that nature. But I still think if he could have connected with the uppercut, he could have knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing: this was all done about money.
Yeah, it was.
It was all about money. Tyson didn't care if he knocked him out or not. Just like the Floyd Mayweather and
And Conor McGregor.
Pacquiao years ago, about 8 years
Oh
ago,
yeah, I remember
the
that one.
Pacquiao fight. That fight is the only fight I watched since probably Tyson boxed years ago. I said, well, I'm gonna watch this one because it was all the hype and everything else. I was disappointed in that fight.
I hear you.
It went all around. Pacquiao could have knocked Floyd Mayweather out. I don't know how many times. Had him in the corner and then backed off. It was all about the money.
Yep. I
So
was just like when McGregor. Well, I thought, ooh, McGregor. Like, no,
yeah.
it didn't.
So all it is now is about money. And even they said Jake Paul said, "I'm the money man, so I'll make them money." So it ain't they can care less if they win. It's just bringing the money. So that's why boxing is never going to be back to like it was in the 80s.
Right.
Boxing's gone. It's gone. It's done got to the money. Money's ruined it. Um, so, and I tell you what done boxing in is when MMA came in. MMA just done away with boxing.
Oh yeah, it
It went,
did.
it just took the audience away and everything else. But that's it. You got anything else on that fight?
Nope. I almost. I'm glad you brought it up because I tweeted earlier and I said, yeah, we're gonna be talking about the fight and everything, how it went, the results of the fight, and then I totally forgot about it until you brought it up.
Well, actually I didn't realize it till we was talking hockey, and then it just came to my mind about the fight. So I didn't have it in my notes nowhere. So it just came to my mind thinking about that fight and everything else. I got the NBA up right now. I'll go over some scores from last night and then go over some scores for tonight and today. Last night you had the Heat beating the Pacers 124 111 in Indiana. You had the Magic beating the 76ers 98-86. The Sixers are done. They might as well just throw the towel in for the season. 2-10. They ain't gonna get no comeback.
Yeah.
You got the Pistons and the Raptors. The Pistons beat the Raptors 99-95 in Toronto. Atlanta beat the Wizards at home at 129-117. Those Cavaliers are on a roll. They won. They beat the Bulls 144-126. I'm gonna mention something if you don't let me forget about the
That is
Cavaliers.
a high score.
Yeah. And you ready for this? Mitchell for Cleveland had 37 points and 7 boards. The Knicks, your Knicks, barely get by the Nets, 124-122.
Yep.
I'm disappointed in your Knicks. I really
I am
am.
too.
The Lakers beat the Spurs 120-115 to go at 8-4. The Rockets beat the Clippers 125-104. Pelicans beat the Nuggets 101-94. How in the world can the Nuggets get beat by the Pelicans? The Thunder,
Yeah.
and here's another one. The Thunder beat the Suns. This was a good game. Two good teams. Thunder beat the Suns 99-83. The Warriors are still rolling. They're 123-118 over the Grizzlies. And then the Kings got beat by the Timberwolves 130-126. That was last night's scores. And tonight and today, this is what we got going on right now. The game's in progress. In the third quarter, you got the Raptors. You ready for this? Raptors and Celtics. The Raptors 58, Celtics 56.
What?
In the third quarter, it's tied up right now, 58-58. The Pelicans and what's up with these Pelicans? They're playing the Lakers at home, and they're beating the Lakers right now, 58-50 in the third quarter, but it's still early.
Yeah.
And then the Spurs and the Mavericks are playing right now. The Spurs are winning 42-39 with 5 minutes left in the second. And tipping it off here a little bit later, 10 o'clock, you got the Jazz and the Kings, and we got one final from the day. The Milwaukee Bucks got beat by the Hornets 115-114. What's happened to the Bucks?
Yeah, that's also another done team.
I mean, the Bucks and the 76ers, what has happened to them? And what I want to mention, I was told, and I may go fast forward and see, and if this is the case, I'm going to try to watch this, but I'll be at work. And it is a big game Tuesday night. Big game. 7 p.m. Cleveland goes to Boston to play Boston. Tuesday night.
Mm,
That's going to be a good game to watch. Maybe,
that is.
maybe Cavaliers may blow them out of the water. I don't know. Cavaliers are
They're still
Cavaliers.
undefeated, right?
Yeah, 14-0. And let's see if they play tomorrow night. Let's see if they play tomorrow. Because tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah, Cavaliers play tomorrow in Cleveland. They played on Hornets. They should win that.
Mm-hmm.
So they should go to 15-0 right there. I doubt they play Monday. So they would play again Tuesday.
With a 15-0 record going in Boston.
Yeah, they don't play Monday. So they go in Boston Tuesday, should go in 15-0. What a shocker that is. I figured they'd be good, but right now, I mean, they're rolling right now.
Right. Too bad you didn't say they was playing the Pelicans. I mean, that'd be their first loss right there. Them Pelicans.
Well, let's see. The Pelicans, if them Pelicans knock off the Lakers, they done knocked off two good teams. And then going down the standings, I mean, the East is pretty much. It's still early, but I mean, compared to the West, it's horrible.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you only got right now. You got Orlando Magic on the move now. They're in the third spot at 8-6. So you got Boston Celtics at 10-3, Cleveland at 14-0. Then you move down to the West. This is your top at the West. The Thunder are 11-2. Golden State's 10-2. Houston Rockets 9-4. Phoenix 9-4. The Lakers are 8-4, and the Nuggets 7-4. That's your top six, and then the rest of them, 7 through 9, are 7-6. You got Minnesota, Grizzlies, and Sacramento. So, and then I don't know what's happened to Dallas. I mean,
yeah, they imploded too. They get Klay Thompson as like, oh yeah, now we're gonna have a squad. We got our three. We got Kyrie Irving, we got Luka, but I think they're playing Klay out of position because Klay was a 2 when he was at Sacramento. But there's not really much difference between the 2 and the 3 because he's playing the 3 down there because in Dallas, Luka plays the 2, which I think Luka is better at a 3. But
and the thing is, I think he has some good years at the Warriors. I think he's pretty much
done.
He's done as far as consistency wise. He's going to still have some good games. Okay. He can still give you some good time, but for him to put up 30 points or whatever, he's only going to do that every once in a while. So them days are done to having it back to back.
Right. He's more of he should go now with the new role of being the 6th man, the guy coming off the bench.
He does good at that role. And it's no disrespect. He does good coming off the bench.
Yep.
And he gives like a spark coming off that bench and everything else. And here's some stuff here on the headline news of the NBA. You ready for this? CP3 joins Stockton Kidd with 12,000 career assists.
Nice.
And then, LeBron, he ups his triple-double streak to 4 in LA.
Yeah, that one was good too. I was like, man, he's like.
And let's see. I think that's about it as of right now. Fox scores franchise best 60, but Kings lose in overtime. That was so that's just some headline news there for the NBA. Anything else you want to mention?
Nah, I meant to try to look up some women's NBA today, but I didn't get around to it. And usually if it's something important, something real good going on, I would get a text to my phone. So I got no text, so I don't think nothing was really moving in women's NBA.
All right, we'll do this here. We'll move right to college football. We're about halfway through this show almost. It goes quick.
It does.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get to the top 25. All right, you see I'm wearing this. I got me this last year. I'm a big Deion fan. I don't care what the rest of those Mountaineer fans said. They said we didn't need all that chaos in Motown. How about that chaos now? Because they're getting ready to win the Big 12.
Yep.
Everywhere he's went, he's turned the a team around.
He
West
sure
Virginia.
did. It was when he Jackson State.
I hope next year. I don't know. I hope Colorado comes to Morgantown. We're going to go to that game. We'll go to that game next year. We're planning to go to that game. I'm going to be wearing this with my West Virginia jersey. How many you want to walk in the stadium with me doing that? Wearing my buff hat? Yeah. You think I'll get a catcher a lot of crap for doing
like,
that?
what are y'all doing? We're here for the winners.
Yeah.
Wins.
I'm a winner either way. And if Brown's still there, we know who's going to win.
Exactly.
So, West Virginia lost today to Baylor in Morgantown. Baylor had never won in Morgantown until today.
I think I picked Baylor.
No, you picked West Virginia.
Oh, I did.
You was getting ready to go.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I said I can't go with them wackos.
You did. Yes, you did. Well, West Virginia lost, and I was watching some of the game when we went out to eat, and one of the receivers broke his ankle. As soon as I seen that happen, his right foot was outward. I'm like, oh no, that's broke. And when they went to show the replay, they cut it off right before what it was a big long pass, and he was going out where the defender fell on his back of his leg as he was going down. Well, it's broke. I mean, you can see it was broke. They didn't show it. I hate to see that. But they end up losing. I'll go to the score here. I don't know what the final score was. It was pretty rough. But I'll go over some scores right now. You ready for this? The Boise State and San Jose State. You remember who you picked?
I went with San Jose.
All right, Boise State right now. It's a minute left in the third. Boise 28, San Jose State 21.
Oh, kind of close. 7 points.
All right, you ready for this next one?
Uh-huh.
Me and you both missed this. I think, no. I missed this. You got this. All right, in the third quarter, almost the end of the third, getting ready to start the fourth. Arizona State 24, Kansas State 6.
Oh,
so there goes that. That'll knock them out of the top 20. Right now, you ready for this? In Wisconsin, number 1 Oregon in the third quarter, 10 minutes left. Wisconsin 10, Oregon 6.
Oh my God! Come on, Oregon! I went with you.
Yep. All right. Here at halftime in Georgia, Tennessee 17, Georgia 17.
Wow.
And I think we both went with Georgia. No, I went with Tennessee. You went with Georgia.
Uh-huh.
All right. Texas A&M, they're rolling on New Mexico 24-0 at halftime. So I could check that off. They ain't going to come back and win that.
Mm-hmm.
A game that ain't started yet. It's Washington State and New Mexico, and another big game in the Big 12. This is big because if BYU loses this will probably vault Dion in first in the Big 12 instead of second. You got Kansas and BYU at 10-15. I'm hoping BYU wins. I like BYU.
I went with BYU too. I think I picked that.
You went with Kansas. I went with BYU. But you got me. You're one up on me on our picks right now in college. Here's some finals right now today. Ohio State beat Northwestern 31-7. Texas, number 3 Texas, barely gets by. I say barely gets by Arkansas 20-10. Penn State rolls Purdue 49-10. Notre Dame rolls Virginia 35-14. Alabama rolls Mercer 52-7. SMU escapes by Boston College 38-28. That was a ball game all the way to the end. Colorado, ready for this? Rolls Utah Utes 49-24. How about those Utes?
I know, right?
They still talking crap on that page. They're talking crap. They never shut up. Then you and I missed. I think both of us missed this. Stanford beat Louisville on a last second field goal, 38-35. Clemson beat Pittsburgh 24-20, and you had Clemson. I had Pitt on that.
Yep.
Me and you both missed this. South Carolina beat Mizzou 34-30 on a last-second touchdown. Florida beat LSU 27-16. That'll knock LSU out of the top 25.
I think we both picked LSU, huh?
Yeah, we did. We both went at LSU. We missed that. And then, man, I'm disappointed in your boys. I'm disappointed in them. Navy got beat 35-0
Oh, that's bad.
by Tulane. 35-0. I mean, I had a little more hope in the Navy than that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they lost it, I mean, okay, they'd be in the ball game. They got beat 35-0. It was 14-0 at halftime, and then in the third quarter, Tulane put another touchdown. It was 21-0 after 3, and then they had tacked on 2 more touchdowns in the fourth. So that kind of shocked me right there with the Navy. And then we'll hit some Big 12 scores at the teams that's not ranked. All right, right now at halftime, you ready for this? Cincinnati and Iowa State. They are tied up 10-10.
I think I went with Iowa this time.
I know I did. Let's see here.
Because I like Cincy, but I think I went with Iowa because
You did. You went with
they
Iowa.
lost last week, and I was like, nah, I can't back them no more.
You're always stuck on Cincy. And then Baylor beat West Virginia 49-35. Was the score of that. Arizona beat Houston Friday night 27-3. I think that was the only two. So if let's see here, Kansas will fall out of the top 25. So that will only leave let's see here, 3, 1, 2. Actually, 2 teams ranked in the Big 12. So, yeah. So West Virginia, they'll be playing UCF, I think, next week, if I'm not mistaken. And they finish in Lubbock.
Right.
Last me make sure I'll click on it. I couldn't tell you. It's a flip of a coin who's going to win. I mean, I'll show you some stats here in a minute. West Virginia, they play at UCF next weekend, and then they finish out on the 30th at Lubbock, which they will definitely lose that Texas Tech game. That's a loss there. So if they don't beat UCF at home next week, they will not get a bowl game. They should have beat Baylor, but wait till I read these stats for you right here. Let me click on it. Go to box scores. I don't have to go to the box scores. It's brought up right here. All right, their quarterback for Baylor, S. Robinson. 26 of 36 for 329 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, didn't they fire the defensive coordinator?
They did. Oh, they did. They fired him. They had one good game, and then it was right back to where they was. So that was and then let me back up to Deion's boy, Sherrard Sanders. He was 30 of 41, 340 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Nice.
Let's see what his stats are. All right, here's his stats on the season. He's thrown for 2,882 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He's got a QBR rating of 76.6, which is 18th in the country. It's not bad stats. He does take care of the ball pretty good though. So to me, I think he'll go in the top 5 in the draft this year for a quarterback.
You know the bad news about that?
He won't be in Dallas.
He goes within the top 5. That means he's going to be a Titan or Carolina Panther.
A Titan, Carolina Panther. Who else is stinking it up?
I know. I'm trying to think of who else is stinking it real bad. He could be a Patriot.
He could be a Patriot. He could be I don't know. I can't think right now.
Brown.
He could be in Cleveland. I bet Deion blocks the Cleveland deal because Deion knows that's where quarterbacks go to die. Baker Mayfield's the only one that's made through it. But yeah, I'd say he's going to be a top 5 pick for a team that needs a quarterback. I think he's got a strong arm. I think he'll do all right. He kind of reminds me a little bit to me of Lamar Jackson playing in college.
I thought you was gonna say Cam Newton because if you say
Nah.
Cam Newton, I say, oh, he's really going to the Panthers
Uh,
now.
all right, moving right along. I guess we'll move right into the NFL here. Now,
Yep.
here's the thing. We had a game Thursday night, and you
I
missed the
dropped
pick.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
you dropped the bomb because you can't. It's hard for you to say the word Eagles or the name Eagles. It don't roll off your tongue too easy.
I know.
So
I picked those Commanders because I was like, as a Cowboy, I don't like either one of those teams, but I was like, the Commanders, they're mostly Cowboys. So they should have. I should have known they're mostly Cowboys. That means they was gonna lose.
well, I tell you what. I don't know if you watched that game.
I did for a bit, and then I cut it off. I got.
Well, Jalen Daniels for the first time all year looked like a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like a rookie quarterback. I don't know if it was a short week. I hate these short week games, these Thursday night games,
Right.
because I mean, most of them have been horrible games for the most part. We're going to see what happens with the Chiefs because the Chiefs, they go to Carolina on the 24th. I'll be at that game. Then they turn around and play Friday. They play the Raiders Friday on Black Friday. So it's a short turnaround there as
Yep.
well. So we'll see what happens. I don't like these Thursday night games ain't panning out too well. Let's just go back, keep it to Monday night, Sunday night, and you could do 2 games on Monday. I like the 2 games on Monday night.
Yeah, I did like the 2 games on Monday night as well.
And then, like in December, when they do the Saturday games, I like the Saturday games in December.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, these Thursday night games, they're trying to do it for money, but the product ain't. I think it's affecting everything.
Yep.
So I think they need to stick to. They need to rethink that. And do if they want to do it, just to do another Saturday night game or something. But the Eagles beat the Commanders 26-18 with that. But I want to mention something. All right, we'll go over some. I'll go over the games again being played tomorrow. We got the Packers at the Bears. Bears are pretty much done, I think.
Oh yeah, they done.
So I think you and I both picked the Packers on that.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguars. That's the other team would be looking for a quarterback. Oh, never mind. They gave Trevor big money. Never mind. They ain't looking for a quarterback, and he's out for the season, ain't he? He's hurt. He's out hurt. So
I didn't know it was for the whole season. I know he's hurt.
He's hurt, but he may pull a Dak Prescott and just take the whole season out. I mean, because they're 2-6 or 2-8. But anyway, the Lions are playing the Jaguars. That's going to be a blowout. You got the Vikings at the Titans. The Raiders at the Dolphins. There's another one. The Raiders need a quarterback. They're 2-7.
Yep, the Raiders do need a quarterback.
The Dolphins are 3-6. They could probably be looking for another quarterback. That's just my opinion.
They should be looking for a new quarterback. All right, 2 in that head. Come on now, he's got to.
He'd be a good backup quarterback if something happens.
Yep.
Bring him in or something. The Rams and the Patriots. Patriots are 3-7. They got a quarterback controversy there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns and the Saints. The Browns are 2-7. Saints are 3-7. There's some more quarterback contention teams. Here we go. The Colts and the Jets. They're 4-6. The Colts 4-6. The Jets 3-7. And then here's another team. I mean, to me, I think they still need a quarterback next year, maybe. Is the Steelers.
Yeah.
So why not go ahead and draft Deion's boy, let him set a year behind Russell Wilson, then bring him in the year after, and then you got a quarterback that's groomed, ready to go. But I'm not a Steelers fan, but I'm just looking at the situation. I mean, And the Ravens, they don't need a quarterback. They got one who likes to run all the time.
I know.
And you got the Falcons and the Broncos. Broncos got a young quarterback in Bo Nix. He's looking pretty good. Falcons still got Kirk Cousins. I'd say he could play another 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah, he looked like it. Yeah, he looked like it.
Yeah, as long as he don't get hurt, I think Kirk Cousins can manage it for a couple more years. But you got to remember, they drafted a quarterback last year too. So
Yep.
they got a young quarterback behind him that's being groomed. You got the Seahawks and the 49ers. They're playing at 4:05. And here you've got at 4:25. This is the big game. The Chiefs go to Buffalo to play. And here's a big key factor, I think, in this game, because the Chiefs like winning by 3 points. I guess that's their motto. We just win by 3. Their kicker, Harris Buckner's out for 4 weeks with a knee injury. He had surgery. So he's on the IR for 3 to 4 weeks. He's already had the surgery. So that could come down to a big key factor because he was one of your best kickers in the league.
Yes, he was. I was like, did y'all want to go ahead and take that one loss so bad that you sabotage your kicker?
So, but then the Bills has Dalton Kincaid out, their tight end. He's out this game hurt. You picked the Chiefs. I picked the Bills because I figured somewhere along this line, the Chiefs are going to have to lose somewhere. I hope they do during the regular season to get that loss out of the way.
Right.
Pacheco, Pacheco is not coming back this week, but he may be back for the Carolina game that we go to. And you got that 1-2 punch with Hunt and Pacheco.
Yep. That is gonna be a nightmare scenario for some defenses to try to scheme for.
Well, you know what they'll do, because you got Pacheco's going to be your number 1 back. Hunt's going to be the 2. Pacheco's going to get you down there near the goal line, and Hunt's going to be punching it in.
You know who's not there no more? That
Perine?
No, Perine's still there, but that what was it? It was something. He had them 2 long names. It had an H in there somewhere. I cannot think of his name.
Oh, Hilaire. Edwards Hilaire.
Yes. You know why he's not there? And this doesn't make sense.
He got hurt too. He was on the IR.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But he had PTSD, and he said that he blames the Chiefs organization for not communicating that he had PTSD after his injuries, and they didn't communicate that to Andy Reid. I'm like, why don't you take your tail over there and tell Andy Reid?
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I'm like, that's the excuse he's using. I'm like, I wouldn't have said that. That was stupid because like people like me, the first thing comes to mind is, what, Andy Reid don't talk to his players? You couldn't go up there and tell Andy Reid, to me, don't seem like that type of person.
Well, here's my thing. Andy Reid is not a psychiatrist or counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And I'm sure they probably now have some counselors there on the property, the way things go now today. But, I mean, Andy Reid ain't trained in that to notice the signs of PTSD and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I mean, to blame that on the organization, I mean, I don't know. They don't make no sense.
It don't.
But then you got the Bengals and the Chargers playing tomorrow night at 8:20.
Go Bengals.
And then you've got the slaughter Monday night. It's slaughter Monday night. The Texans are playing at Dallas.
I
read this right, Dallas is 0-4 at home. So they're getting ready to be 0-5.
Yep.
And that's been their issue last year as well, you said. They just can't win at home, but they win on the road.
Yep.
So
it was funny because somebody had hit me up with a meme this morning, and it was like, you could not. He said, because last night's fight was in AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys played. That's what they was blaming all the doggone suffering on. And it says, it says, Even Jake Paul can win in Dallas, and the Cowboys can't.
That is funny.
I was like, oh man,
All
they are
right.
tearing it up.
So your Cowboys are battling it out in the East for last place.
Pretty much, yeah.
I never would have thought that. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got our predictions over here in a notebook before the season started. I think I had your Cowboys third anyway in the division. I think I had the Commanders win the division, Eagles finishing second, Dallas third, and the Giants last.
I think you did have that, and you know what? I think that's how to finish up because I know that out of Dallas and the Giants, Dallas ain't gonna lose to the Giants.
So that I was just brought that up, and I looked. And this is a big game for the Chargers when they play Cincinnati this tomorrow.
hmm
Because all right, the Chiefs are 9-0. Who knows if they'll win tomorrow? But Chargers are 6-3. So for the Chargers to stay pace, they need to win to move to 7-3. If they lose, they go to 6-4. And then if Broncos win, the Broncos go to 6-5. And let me tell you this: the Chiefs got to play the Broncos one more time. Last year, the Chiefs split with the Broncos. One game, the Broncos blew the Chiefs out last year. So
They did last
yeah,
year. Blew
yeah,
them
they
out.
blew them out. It was like, I mean, go ahead and look that up. See what that score was last year. But one of those games, they got beat pretty bad. It's like the Chiefs forgot to show up or something. I don't know what it was.
Right.
We'll go back to see who the Broncos are playing again. I done ratted it off, but I forgot who they were to see if the Broncos are going to pull the win off. They're playing the Falcons, so they got a game on their hands in Denver. And then the Falcons in their division are leading, but I don't think they're 6-4. And they are Tampa Bay's 4-6, and the Falcons are 6-4. But let me say something about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a good 4-6 team. You don't
Yeah.
hear that much. Okay. For instance, I'm gonna run down their last 3 losses, or it may be 4 losses. I'm gonna run down this right fast. And when I say, okay, it's the last 4 losses. All right. They lost to the Ravens 41-31. So they lost by 10 points.
hmm
Lost to the Falcons 31-26. So lost by
Within, yeah, within a
5 points.
touchdown.
Lost to the Chiefs 30-24.
Still within a 20 touchdown.
Lost to the 49ers 23-20. Lost to the Falcons early in the season 36-30. And then the Broncos beat them pretty bad 26-7. So they only really got one bad loss.
I know, because the one with the Chiefs also was within overtime.
Yeah. So right here, they could easily have 1, 2, 3, 4 more wins. Okay. They're 8-2. They could easily be 8-2. But they're 4-6 because, or if you want to go 9-1, you can go back to the Falcons game, 36-30. So they could only have really, I'm telling you wrong, 2 losses. I'll say the Ravens and the Broncos. So 1, 2, add 4 more, so 8-2. They should be, realistically, they should be 8-2 if you look at it that way. So they are a good 4-6 team. I'm going to say this. For anybody, if they make the playoffs, they get in a wild card, you don't want to play them. They could be that team to knock you off.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a good, and you got to think now. He's playing without his 1 and 2 receivers, number 1 and number 2 receivers.
Yep, he sure is.
The last 3 weeks he's been playing. Actually 4 weeks. He's been and they lost Godwin to a bonehead play against the Ravens. There's 30 seconds left in the ball game. They're down 10. They still had him in the ball game trying to score, and that's when he messed up his ankle or his foot, and he's out for the season.
Yep.
So, but I mean, you can't dispute them, and they're still trying to come back to win. But watch out for this team if they make the playoffs in the NFC. Which going back, let me go back to their schedule, see who they got left on their schedule, see what their schedule looks like. And it's pretty rough for Baker. Baker's doing all he can do, and it's just like keeps falling short. Here's the remainder of their schedule. They play the Giants tomorrow. No,
okay, actually, I got that.
No, I'm telling you wrong. Next weekend, they're on a bye week this week.
Okay.
So they play the Giants the 24th, the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
They got that. No need to practice. They got that.
Are you ready for these next 3 games? The Giants, the Panthers, the Raiders. So that's 7-6 right there.
Yeah,
and then, all right, you ready for this? All right, they got to play the Chargers. Then the Cowboys. There's another win against the Cowboys. And then they finish the season out with the Saints.
Oh, man.
So they could go 11-6, 10-7, and finish, if I look at this right, they'll be second in the division at that. I'm down here at it. Just say they go. All right, let's just say they win out. All right, they got 7 games left. Say they win out, 11-6.
Yep.
All right, right now the Falcons are 6-4. They'd have to get some help somewhere to try to win the division. Because like I said, Falcons are 6-4. I'd say they'll finish. The Bucs will finish 10-7. That's my prediction. The Bucs will finish 10-7 in that division and somehow get in the playoff by a wild card.
The wild card, yep.
And they will win their first round in the playoffs, whoever they're playing. Because this team is one of those teams that's, what you say, battle proven or whatever. Even though they're losing, but they're losing close games. I think they can get it together like they did last year. They did that last year, if you remember.
Yeah, they did.
They won the first game and then lost the second to the Lions. And they was in that ball game against the Lions.
Yep, they was.
So this team's been hanging around. And if you remember, who was that? Was that the Lions or the Bills? The Bills. About 3 or 4 years ago, the Bills lost 5 or 6 games less than 6 points. I think it was. Or maybe the Lions. One of the two. Maybe.
I think it's the Bills.
One of them, they didn't make the playoffs that year. But there was 5 or 6 games that they lost less than 6 points. They should have won. If they would have won, then they'd have been in the playoffs.
Right.
So you're looking at this now with the Buccaneers. They're right there, the same scenario. Right. This is a good 4-6 team.
I looked up your Chiefs that loss they had last year when they split with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
It was 24-9.
Yeah,
they didn't even score a touchdown. It was 3 field goals.
Yes, yeah. I thought they got beat pretty handily when they shouldn't have. So they could lose in Denver because they played at KC when they blocked that field goal. So they play in Denver, and Denver, I don't know what it is. Denver's usually got their number, and so. But that's what I've got right now of the NFL. You got anything else?
Nope, I ain't got anything. Went over the main things I wanted to do was go over your birthday, the Tyson fight that I forgot all about, that I was talking about. We was going to talk about it. I forgot. And we hit the football. And we didn't announce that Deion Sanders is going to be Dallas Cowboys coach next year.
Nope, he's not. I want to mention this. On our last, I'll mention this, and then we'll have to finish up. During our audio during the week, I mentioned And I'm going to say this: I don't get to watch with my schedule, work, taking care of a newborn baby. I don't get to watch hardly no sports news at all. All right, ESPN or nothing like that. And I mentioned about if Dion going to Dallas and then drafting his son at quarterback to Dallas, which Dion's always shot that down. Michael Irvin done a interview the other day. He shot it down before Michael Irvin went there. He said he's staying where he's at in Colorado. But Stephen A. Smith, the guy that I don't care for at all, it's just some of his stuff, said the exact same thing I did. I did not copy him. He said about Dion going to Dallas, being the head coach, and somehow drafting his son in the draft. He said the exact same thing that I mentioned, and I did not copy that or get that off of him whatsoever.
I know. See, that's what I like about it. I was like, y'all gotta see, we professionals here. We doing the same thing. We analyze the game just like they do.
Yeah. So I wanted to mention that before I was reading that, and Stephen A. Smith brought that scenario up, and I'm like, hey, that's what we talked about on our podcast during the week. But I guess that's about it. As everything is wrapping up on this episode, like we always do at the end of each episode, we're going to mention to you that if you're thinking about harming or hurting yourself, there is a quick number to call. It's 988. That is the crisis hotline, Veterans Crisis Line. It's 1-800-273-8255. Give that number a call if you need to talk to somebody, or if go to your local VA medical center, and they will get you in contact with some resources or someone there to get you the help you need.
Right. And like we've said before, if you're not a vet, still call the number. I guarantee they'll get you pointed in the right direction and get you some help. I don't think they're going to just let you get, oh, you're not a vet, then you can just go ahead and do it. They're not going to let you do it.
Yeah, I'll call that number as well. They'll get you into contact with somebody or into the direction you need to go to. Yep. But if you have anything else, Beans?
Nope.
Well, that's all we have for this episode. You have a good night and a good weekend, and we'll see you there in the middle week on the audio.
Yep, on Wednesday.
Stay safe.